Hello, everyone, and welcome to our third session in the OET Fundamentals Live series. This is all about getting you started with your OET preparation. I'm Alex from the OET Education team, and joining me, you all know my colleague and OET expert, Rebecca. Welcome. You're on mute, Rebecca. Your turn today.
I was going to say, you did it last time, my turn today. Sorry about that. Hey, everybody. Hey, Alex. And it's great to see so many people joining us live on YouTube and Facebook. And hello if you're watching us later as well to the recording. So say hi, as many of you are already doing in the live chat or comment section. And let us know, how is your preparation for OET going so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'd love to know what you're working on and what you need help with in particular. So today's session is all about preparation providers. Let's get that up on screen. Perhaps the secret weapon in your OET preparation. So we're going to go through what is a preparation provider. We'll outline why we think you should study with an official OET provider. We'll cover the differences between a preliminary, a premium, and an all-star provider. We'll cover also how to do that, how to find them, how to locate them and sign up and study with them. At the end, we have our question and answer session and giveaway as always. So stay tuned for that.
It's great seeing all the comments coming through. We've got several people letting us know where they're joining us from. We've got quite a few in Saudi, United Arab Emirates, that part of the world.
Great.
And a couple of candidates are letting us know their preparation status. So Rain is saying, currently working on speaking, getting to know the different test formats, which is great. And this one from Sanuri, who says, I'm a beginner and I'm in Australia. So hey to you as well.
You're in the right place, Sanuri. This is
yeah, absolutely. Oh, and here's a good one from Unknown. I'm looking for good preparation course, also mentors. So this is particularly a good session for you today. So back to you, Alex. Those are the first ones coming through.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we're definitely going to try and make it clear to you today how to do that, how to find somebody that can help you prepare for the test. So just before we get started, a couple of questions for you in the chat. First of all, how are you preparing for OET at the moment? Are you working alone? Are you using a book? Are you watching Rebecca's Q&As and the All-Star sessions? Just let us know in the chat. And I'll lead on also to question 2, which is, how do you want to prepare for OET? Are you looking for a private tutor like that commenter before? Would you like to study online or in a group face-to-face? Do you want feedback on your writing, on your speaking? So tell us in the chat both of those things. What are you doing now? What ideally would you like to do? And so part of today's purpose is really to point you in the right direction and connect you to the right people when it comes to test prep. And at OET, we have a really outstanding network of teachers and schools providing excellent services and a huge variety of services. So we'll really try to help you find whatever it is that you're looking for. So let's have a look in the chat.
That's right, Alex. I'm Rebecca. You're Alex. And we've got a shout out from a few candidates for one of our preparation provider partners, which is E2 Language. Perhaps some of you saw their excellent live stream yesterday on the speaking test. So there's a few of you mentioning that. But I can see a few other people saying, like Dr. Emmanuel, I'm studying alone with samples and with YouTube. Or we've got this one from Dilha who's saying, I'm studying online.
Beautiful. Yeah, I imagine a lot of people are doing that, at the moment, at the tail end, hopefully, of COVID. It seems like, a lot of people have taken up that option. And it's such a good option for healthcare professionals when you can't go to class like 9 until 3 during the day, probably. So the online option is great, and one that we'll we'll talk about quite a bit more. So let's get into it, shall we? And Rebecca might start with this important question. What is a preparation provider?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I'm really happy to answer this question because I think it's one that confuses a lot of our candidates, and it actually has a super simple answer. It's just really a matter of terminology. So when people, candidates, students like yourselves are getting ready for OET, they might study with a teacher, a review center, a school. They might do an online course, as some of you have mentioned. They might go to a training center. They might work with a private tutor. And these are all what we would call preparation providers. It's just someone who helps you prepare for OET. And in different parts of the world, different terms are used. But at OET, we call them all preparation providers. Now, I also want to explain the difference between a few other terms here as well, because these OET preparation providers are different to OET Official. Now, OET Official is the company that Alex and I work for. We are part of the education team at OET. And of course, OET is responsible for creating and assessing the actual test that you're taking. So in the OET Official team, our team, the education team, work with people in the assessment teams, people who look after the test venues, people who manage social media, people who are working to get OET recognized in more countries around the world and by more organizations. So it's OET Official that provides all of the materials on our website, like the sample tests, the blogs, the masterclasses, and those sorts of things, as well as the content on our social media channels, which you're obviously watching at the moment. And as I mentioned, Alex and I represent the OET Official Education team, and our job is to help you prepare and connect you to preparation providers if you need them. And the other part of our job is to train those teachers to be prep providers and to make sure they have the skills and qualifications so you can trust them to prepare you for OET success. So these official preparation providers are the teachers or schools that are listed on the OET website, and we'll show you where you can find them soon. But anyone who's listed on the OET website has completed OET Official teacher training that I've just mentioned my team looks after. And these are independent teachers and companies, but we have helped them to learn about OET and become great OET teachers. And you'll find some of these providers on our official channels like E2 Test Prep, like SLC that I've seen some of you mentioned, but also Swoosh English, OET Online, and those other great schools many of you know. And of course, there are also a lot of non-official preparation providers, and these are other teachers and schools offering OET courses, but who haven't been through our teacher training, and therefore we can't tell you anything about them. We can't endorse the quality of their materials. They may be good, but we just don't know anything about them or their courses. So today's session is going to focus on this middle group that you can see on the screen, the official prep providers, because these are the people we know and can trust to give you the best preparation experience. So why should you choose to study with an official OET provider? Well, first of all, I'd like you to tell me what you think to this as a suggestion. As healthcare professionals, would you trust someone to take your blood who, and I've got a few options here for you to choose from. So someone to take your blood who says they're a nurse, but isn't actually registered by a regulator. So they just say they're a nurse. Or what about someone who has read or studied the process of how to take blood, but has never actually tried it before? Would you feel comfortable with them taking your blood? Or what about if the person who is taking your blood has had the experience of having their own blood taken as a patient? Would you be happy in any of those circumstances? I don't think I would be, because there are certainly a few things that could go wrong, not least to say contaminated needles, and it would feel quite risky. But what about if I now rephrase those options slightly and change nurse to teacher? So would you trust someone to prepare you for OET who says they're a teacher but isn't registered by any kind of regulator? Or what about someone who has read about the theory of teaching but has never tried it, never done any teaching before? Or would you trust someone who has taken OET themselves as a candidate? Well, I personally hope that you'd say no in this situation as well. At least think that doing so was equally risky. Okay, in this example, there aren't any contaminated needles involved, but we know that success at OET can completely change your life for the better. And you wouldn't want to risk that by getting inaccurate preparation that can slow you down or actually even hamper your chances of getting the results that you want. As the creator of OET, we want you to have the best experience possible. So while we do understand it's a really natural human instinct to talk to friends and colleagues about their own strategies for taking OET, you need to remember that no two candidates are the same in terms of the language strengths and weaknesses they have. And of course, your test topics will be completely different to theirs. So having put those couple of examples to you, I'd like to ask you another question to put into chat, your answers into chat. When you're thinking about or looking for a teacher or a course, what would be important to you? So let me know in the chat what to you would be the sign of a really good teacher or a really good course, something that you would think is worth paying some money for or signing up to study with. And I can see this coming through from Andre, who says, I don't trust someone without experience. So that's good to hear. Yeah. And I can see this question, which I'm sure many of you have, and it's something we're going to cover a little bit later in the session. Which OET providers offer feedback for writing at an economical price? Smita is also saying experience would be important for her. Blessing is saying experience as well. Rikala is saying, I would want to know who trained them to train. And of course, this one is an important one for everyone. What is the price? So I completely understand that. And that's also something we'll come back to covering a little bit later. So thanks for those ideas. And as I mentioned, our prep providers that are listed on the OET website have completed some or all of our preparation provider training program. And that means we know that they understand the test deeply and they know the skills that you need to develop in order to succeed. And they've also met our teaching and curriculum standards. So we know that they can create good lessons and use our official resources in an effective way. As I've said, our official prep providers are on the OET website, which saves you the time and energy from searching the internet to find good quality teachers. Our recommendation hopefully counts for a lot. And some of you mentioned you'd want to know in the chat, are they recommended? Are they experienced? So the fact that we're listing them on the website, they've completed this training, means that hard work has been done for you. And lastly, our official providers offer online and in-person courses, and often both. And that means there's a huge range of options for you. And this range and flexibility is another reason why studying with a prep provider is a good idea. And we saw earlier in the questions that Alex was asking that people wanted feedback, or perhaps you like watching videos in your own time, or you might be someone who's looking for one-to-one attention. We at OET Official don't offer that preparation, but these are things that are among the study options offered by our official prep providers. And you can find things like in-person or online classes, depending on your preference. WLES and IRS Group are two such schools that offer both. There are live group sessions, which are maybe in a webinar style, or smaller intimate groups, such as those from OET Online, Swoosh English, Set English, and providers that have mock tests with feedback. So E2 Test Prep has a great mini mock test, for example. Speaking and writing feedback, some of you have already mentioned, is a really popular option for many candidates. And we've got a number of providers, SLC, Banfields, Kelt, that are some of the schools providing this. And as well, one-on-one classes can be important to some students who want an intensive personal experience, or peer study groups are something that others are looking for in a provider. So who you choose to study with is up to you, and we'll show you shortly how to find and compare those schools. But I'm going to hand back to Alex now to quickly go through the difference between the categories of preparation providers we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rebecca. And thank you to all the questions coming through. I can see quite a few about specific parts of the test, like blessing and a couple of others. We will have a question and answer session at the end to deal with as many of those as we can. And remember that our customer support team is contactable through the website and also Facebook Messenger. You can get in touch with us there anytime as well. So apologies if we're missing some of your questions that are popping up. So I'm going to talk about the difference between our preliminary, premium, and all-star providers. Sorry, moving my screen here. And so we have at OET these three levels, or these three types of preparation providers or teachers. Let's have a look at the difference between them. So our preliminary providers have completed their first stage of the OET teacher training program. When they've reached that milestone, we recognise them as preliminary providers, and we list them on the official OET website as non-premium preparation provider. And around the world, we have over 100 preliminary providers. Now, a small number of these preliminary providers each year are accepted to continue our teacher training program. And those that complete all of the requirements achieve premium status. And we allow them to use this special premium logo, which indicates that they are officially endorsed by OET as being top quality providers. And currently we have more than 35 of these premiums around the world. Now within this premium group, we have our OET All Stars. These are premium providers who work closely with us to provide extra free resources to you. In particular, our All Stars provide free live sessions a few times a week on our official channels, on the channels that you're watching right now, Facebook and YouTube. So we've mentioned a lot of the All Stars already, and we've seen their names popping up, but these include Swoosh and E2, SLC, WLES, and lots more that you would recognize. So these are premium providers who go above and beyond for you, our candidates. Here's a quick snapshot of where our providers are around the world. So you can see quite a lot up here in the UK. We're here in Australia. But of course, don't panic if you don't see a premium or preliminary or all-star in your area, because a lot of them, of course, are online. And a good place to find our All-Stars as well, I'll just mention, is in our OET study guide. And a few of you hopefully have already got this. We're going to share the link in the chat box now. Our OET study guide is a new resource. You can download it. You can use it as a checklist. It is very comprehensive. Those asking for help with reading or listening, go into the study guide. There's a huge section on each part of OET, with lots of links to important and useful resources. So this is from OET Official as well as our All-Star contributors. So a really useful thing. And just out of curiosity, I'd like to know, people here, if you have already studied with a premium provider or perhaps a preliminary provider, do let us know in the chat box. Another great way, of course, to find a teacher is by word of mouth. So if you're studying with someone and you think they're doing a great job, feel free to let others know and recommend that teacher or that school to us. And while you're doing that, I want to share with you a short video that will hopefully capture everything that we've covered so far, and then we'll come back and show you how to find these great teachers. Thank you for the comments coming through.
OET offers you a life-changing opportunity to start a new healthcare career. We believe in the work that you do, and we want you to achieve your healthcare dream without the need for multiple tests. Being underprepared may make success more difficult to reach. That's why we offer the correct training with our best teachers. So you can go to your test knowing what to expect and feeling positive about the outcome. OET Premium Providers are medical English experts. They have completed a comprehensive OET training program to teach you the skills you need to pass your test with ease. With high-quality materials and extensive experience, they cater their teaching strategies to fit each individual and provide valuable feedback on the assessment criteria. They understand how to replicate test conditions, giving you the most authentic mock test experience to build your confidence for test day. Studying with these language experts will help you understand and learn from your mistakes, as well as know how to avoid them in the future so you can accelerate your improvement. Our premium providers give you a quality experience to ensure you feel comfortable in your future healthcare career from day one. We believe your future deserves the best, so learn from our best teachers and ensure you can fulfill your dreams in making the world a better place.
Oh, it's so nice. All right, thank you guys. We're just checking the chat box quickly here.
Yeah, I've got one coming up, Alex. This candidate, see if that's coming up on the screen, is saying, I'm a doctor. I've got 5 or 6 months before my test. I need online lessons with feedback. Is there any course for me? So absolutely, these providers that we're talking about now, well, many of them offer a whole range of courses. Some are offering intensive courses, and I know someone was asking earlier about whether they could do something intensive in 2 weeks. The answer is yes, absolutely. The best thing to do is to contact a number of these providers with your requirements, with your goals, your plan for your test dates, and have a chat with them about what's going to work out best for you. And later on in the session, Alex is going to show how you can find them and then how you can get in contact with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. And of course, we get that question a lot, and it's difficult for us to recommend for every single person, but hopefully this session will show you where to go, and you can try out these providers and see which one fits your needs, definitely.
And I think something that's come through from a couple of students as well is things like to do with price. You know, I'm looking for a cheap course. I'm looking for something economical. You know, those words have been coming through. And we've got a lot of sympathy for your situation. We know that many healthcare professionals are not well paid. But we also see many candidates taking OET just from studying alone, and without knowing in advance whether their English is the right level for the scores that they want to achieve on test day. Because obviously we're sure that many of you have really good levels of English, but unless your English is at the level that the regulators are looking for, it's not going to get you where you want to be when you get your results. And the further that your English level is from the scores that you want, the more likely it is that you're going to need some help to improve your skills. And that's why that was such a great question. This candidate is saying, I'm looking for taking the test in 6 months, and they're already starting to think about how can I work on that so I'll be ready. OET isn't a lottery. The more times you take the test will not make you more likely to pass next time. It's just going to make you short of money and frankly sad. So the quickest way to OET success is finding out your strengths and weaknesses, understanding why you have those weaknesses, and learning to overcome them consistently for any question or any topic to do with healthcare. And an important part of this process, as we've just seen in that video, is that a teacher will have seen those weaknesses before, and they know this is their area of expertise. They know how to improve them most effectively.
Yeah, definitely. I can see Winifred and Mukesh asking about how to improve reading. And so this is definitely where a teacher can help you in all-star lessons. And for writing and speaking in particular, you really need to know how you're going according to the assessment criteria. It's really hard to be impartial and to critically judge your own letter or your own role play. Listening and reading a little different, because you can see your scores. If you're not doing well, you can identify some problems. But writing and speaking, you really need somebody's input, an expert who knows the criteria really well. So as we mentioned earlier, many of our providers offer writing and speaking correction and feedback. So at the very least, we feel that this is something that you should seriously consider in your preparation. So preparation is an investment, we know, but in the long term, it can be an investment that means you achieve the results that you need in one test rather than 2 or 3. So to know how much preparation you might need, we also have a tool that we'll share with you shortly, and we'll talk about in our giveaway, which might be able to answer that question of how long do I need to study for. So the big question, I guess, which will help our viewers is coming up. How do I find these preparation providers? So we've talked about why they're so good, why they can help you. Let me just show you really simply how you can find them. I've got the website up on the screen here, the OET homepage, which hopefully everybody is familiar with. And it's so simple. Go to the Prepare tab, which will drop down a dark blue menu. And over here to the right, there's a tab, Find a Preparation Provider. So when you click on that, it's going to be a little small for you, but we've got information again about those different levels of providers, premium providers, non-premium. And then underneath that, we have this huge list. Let me scroll through. This is a huge list of the OET preparation providers we've been talking about. Okay, but you can narrow your search simply by using the side here. So many of you, I think, want to study online. So just tick the online box. Of course, you don't really need a country for that. And you can make your search broader by including those non-premium, the preliminary providers. Click search, and they'll pop up for you. So from here, this is where you need to do some investigation. So it's just basically alphabetically ordered. We've got Acumen, All Stars Banfields, CELT, E2 Language or E2 Test Prep now, IRS, and so on. And you can see some of the details in here. What sort of provision do they offer? So they have classroom, in-hospital, online, and private tutors, those of you wanting one-on-one. They're endorsed for medicine and nursing. Click the button, go to the website, and have a look around. Of course, they will all have different offerings, different prices, different packages. So do some research for yourself, or perhaps listen to your friends in the chat box with their recommendations and find something that works for you. But it's really that simple. The providers who are on our OET website, again, prepare, find a preparation provider. Those are the providers that we at OET recommend that you study with. Now, do check out those provider websites, even if you don't necessarily want to sign up. Many of them offer free intro courses or a free taste of their full offerings. So yeah, I'd really encourage you to have a look at a few of them and find one that works for you.
Absolutely, Alex. And the other thing, of course, you can do is via the official OET Facebook and YouTube pages, you can study with some of those All Stars in their live streamed sessions. So there are playlists of previous sessions on our Facebook and YouTube pages containing those previous live stream lessons. And these lessons cover all aspects of the test, like how to structure a letter, how to avoid common grammar and vocab errors, how you can do well in reading, listening, all parts A, B, and C, as well as how the speaking test is assessed and heaps more. And I know all of those topics have been covered by some of you joining today. You're looking for help in those areas. So these playlists that we're going to show you on the screen now on our YouTube page shows you where you can find those playlists. And we'll also pop those links to both the playlists on Facebook and YouTube into the chats.
Yeah, sorry, we've got a bit of inception here, sharing our YouTube while also streaming on YouTube. But for those of you perhaps watching on Facebook, not so familiar with our YouTube page, on the front page, if you scroll down, you'll find our different sections. Like there's the speaking section, our writing section with playlists, and down towards the bottom we have our OET live section, including the fundamentals, which you're watching now. And here is the OET All Stars live lessons playlist. So if I just click on this, as Rebecca mentioned, there's so much great stuff in here, all available for free. You can find the same on our Facebook page. So those in the chat box saying, help me with reading, I'm not doing well at reading, have a look at all this great content here. Each one is about an hour, sometimes more than an hour, a lesson led by a fantastic teacher, all the way from part A, essential skills for part A, part B, part B, part B, part C. There's so much here for you to get your teeth stuck into. So this is a great place to go. And of course, a lot of this you'll find in the study guide as well. All right, and we've just shared in the chat box links to our playlist. Just check that they're working. I just sometimes they only work with the link, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure you guys can find it anyway. So for extra and free material, please use the OET official page for really high quality material there. And remember also that by subscribing to YouTube and following Facebook, you will be the first to know when we're going live. And it's not always Rebecca and I, it's often our all-star providers.
That's right. And one other thing we'd like to mention today at this point is that, as we said earlier, we do everything we can at OET Official to support everyone in their preparation. And this year, we're really proud to have launched the OET Scholarship Program, which supports refugee and asylum seeker healthcare professionals to access preparation and their OET test free of charge. And we have some great partners set up for this already in both the UK and Australia. And you can see those details on the screen now, and those partner details as well. So if you are someone who is in this position of being a refugee or asylum seeker, do get in contact with those providers in the UK or Australia for more information.
Okay, I'm just sharing the link to this page in the chat box as well, so you can find out more about the OET Scholarship Program there.
That's great. So let's recap what we've covered today so far. So official OET providers offer you quality materials, outstanding teachers, and in many cases, personal attention and feedback. And you can find all of our preliminary, premium, and all-star teachers via the OET official website, as we've just seen. And you can catch many of them on the official OET social media channels.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. So we've managed to answer quite a few questions already, but let's take a few minutes now and we'll try to answer some more questions or direct you to the right place. As I mentioned before, if we miss your question, we're very sorry, but our customer support team is there 24/7. There's a little, is it help or chat green button on our website that you can talk to them. And also Facebook Messenger, we're very responsive on there as well. All right, so if you've got questions about preparation providers or anything else, pop them in the chat box. We'll do our best.
So I've got this question coming through on Facebook from Nigat, who's saying, in these programs, are there new practice materials available? So yes, absolutely there are. So for all of our providers, we make available to them a number of preparation materials that are exclusive to teachers who have done our training, that they can then make use with you, their students. But also our premium and all-star providers have, as part of their extra training that it takes to become a premium provider, been trained by us to create their own high-quality preparation materials. So you will find not just they have all of this expertise that they can share with you, but they also have additional practice materials that you don't have access to elsewhere, to help you with your preparation.
Great, thank you. I'll just pop this one up from Zeddy. Zeddy says, can you also make a session on how the exam will be on test day, like what to bring? Can we see the timer? Can we adjust the volume? That's a really great question, and we will do a live session on that. We do also have, Zeddy, things called test day guides. I don't know if Rebecca can find them super quickly, but you can also Google OET. Thank you. OET test day guides. We've certainly got a playlist on YouTube for computer, and on our website we have the paper-based test part 1 and part 2 test day guide, and computer part 1 and part 2, and that will hopefully answer a lot of those questions for you. But that's a great idea, and we will definitely look into a live session about that as well. Let's see.
Maybe while I'm still looking for those. Oh, sorry, Alex. This is a popular question that comes up quite a lot. And just to say, it's not completely related to today's session, but I want to sort of cut this one off whenever I see it. There are no changes planned for OET next year. So the tests that you see right now, the tests that all of our providers have been trained to complete, that test is going to carry on for 2022 and into the future. So have no worries whatsoever with the materials you're preparing with now. They will also be preparing you for those test dates next year.
Great. Ratna, I'll just pop yours up. Please suggest official materials for practicing. So hopefully we have answered that question today, and also in the previous session, which was called How to Prepare, I covered a lot of the materials that we offer from OET, including the study guide, obviously the practice tests on the website. But as Rebecca said, if you are studying with a premium preparation provider, we really we support the resources that they're using, most of which come from OET Official. And in the OET shop, which is on the website, you can find practice books which contain tests. You can find the Cambridge Guide to OET Nursing and the Official Guide to OET. These are all official materials as well. And we just popped into the chat box the link to Test Day Guide Part 1 for paper and Part 1 for computer, and you'll find Part 2 at the bottom of those pages.
That's great.
I can see Dr. Chetan from last week. We have got your message. Sorry that we're a little bit slow to reply. You were the winner of the giveaway last week. We have not forgotten you. Your email will be coming straight after this with your prize. Sorry about that.
There's an interesting question coming through here from Fariha. Does OET repeat previous questions? So again, not directly related to tonight's content, but I think it's an interesting one that many of you would like to know the answer to. And the answer to that is no. Each test is different. And we also use a number of test papers on the same test day. And this is a security measure. At OET, we take security very, very seriously. It's a high stakes test. As I said earlier, it has the ability to change your life. And so the test materials are changed every month and can vary from test venue to test venue. So this is why it really pays to work on your language skills, so that you're able to tackle any question, any topic, any scenario in your test, rather than just focusing on a small number of test topics that maybe have come up in the past, or that you've heard from friends or colleagues that they were tested on. So yeah, working on your language skills, your English skills, not only will help you most for test day, but obviously is going to help you the most for when you get into that new job, that new career, because every day as a healthcare professional is 100% different, and you need to have that English flexibility to answer any patient, any colleague. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, some really good questions coming through. We'll see if we can rapid fire through a couple more. I'll just grab this one from Dr. Usma. My OET is next month. Can I give speaking on the same day as other modules? I believe this depends on the test center. For paper OET on paper, Rebecca, it's usually the same day. Is that correct?
That's right, Alex. Yeah, it is usually the same day, unless you're sort of set up for that in advance. But if at the time of the booking you're down to take your speaking test on the same day, in most cases it is anyway, yes, you will assume it's on the same day.
Great. And when you're taking it on computer at a test venue, your speaking test is at home, and that is usually a day or a couple of days before, possibly after the test. So it's generally not on the same day.
This one's an interesting one. We're talking about awards and recognition. What is the OET Gold Standard Badge? Now, this isn't something that we give to teachers. This is actually something that we give to candidates. And this goes to a very distinct group of candidates who manage to get 4B grades or higher from one test sitting. So if you receive those scores in your test results, then you will also receive an email from OET to say you are able to claim your gold standard badge. And this is something that you can share on social media. It's a digital badge, which means behind the image of the badge sits information about your achievement. So if it's something that you share on LinkedIn or social media, for example, future employers or regulators can look at that badge and know what it is that you've achieved.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's finish with one final question. I've seen a variation of this one pop up. We'll just mention, Steffi, I can see your question about postponing tests. Anything like that, please contact our customer service team if you need to change anything. But this question is, does the exam's difficulty level differ from one centre to another? And a few other people asked why some tests are easy and some tests are difficult. And we can probably... we can probably answer that by saying that the test goes through, and we shared last week a video about the assessment process. The test goes through a lot of processes between your answers and the final score. So if a test seems easy, it is not going to mean that people who took that test have an unfair advantage. The test absolutely does not work in that way. It is very rigorously tested. Everybody on every test day at every centre has the same chance of success, and there's a lot of things in the background which go into making sure that that happens. I don't know if that was more confusing than before, but you should be reassured by that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have come to the end, but before we go, we're going to do a giveaway. Let's see. And we mentioned before a tool that we have at OET which can help you to understand where your language level is now and what you need to do to improve before you take your test. And this is OET Pulse. You can buy this in the OET shop. It is usually $30. We're going to give away one free Pulse voucher tonight to one lucky player. And to go into the running, it's very easy. Rebecca's just going to set up the competition in the background. And if you want your chance to win this OET Pulse giveaway, simply type #PickMe, one word, into the chat box now. So to win the OET Pulse voucher, type #PickMe into the chat. When you type that, let me share. When you type that, the magical computer system picks up your name and you go into the running. We're going to give you about 40 seconds to get your entries in today.
Here they come.
There we go. Always try to hit 100. Let's see if we can do it. Thanks, everyone. That's it. Keep going. You only need to do it once and it will pick up your name. #PickMe to win the OET Pulse. How are we going? It's so small, I can't see. 67?
60. Yeah, on to 17.
Okay, 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. There'll be one more draw tomorrow if you miss out today. 3, 2. We cracked 100? No.
Almost 85.
Almost. Oh, type quicker.
We're into 90. 10 to go.
We can get there. Pick me one word. It's all right. We can be very patient.
Here we go.
The longest 3 seconds in history, huh? #pick me one word. Make sure you're writing it correctly. All right. Good luck, everybody. If you are the winner, I'll get you to send us an email. Slowing down.
Whee!
All right. Udava, congratulations to you. You have won one free OET Pulse voucher to help you know what level your listening, your reading, your language knowledge is. Please send us an email, Udava, oeteducation@oet.com.au, and we will send you your free OET Pulse voucher. For everybody else, thank you for playing. There is one more chance to win in our OET Fundamentals series tomorrow night. I'll just do a quick recap. So this was session 3. So we have done so far together Intro to OET. We've talked about how to prepare. Today we've covered prep providers. Who are they? What are they? Where are they? And tomorrow I'm going to talk about do's and don'ts of OET preparation and each part of the test as well.
That's great. Another great session done, Alex. And thanks to everyone for joining today to find out about those preparation providers. We're going to share a feedback survey in the chat now because we always want your feedback to make our sessions better. So here it comes. Oops. And also I'll send it to Facebook as well. So do fill in that short survey if you have any feedback about today's session. Alex has been doing a really great job in the last 3 sessions, and she's got one more to come tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss out.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us some feedback. We love feedback. And as always, let us know what you want more of on our channel, and we will try and make that happen for you. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for OET Do's and Don'ts. Rebecca, thank you again for co-hosting with me today. And
my pleasure.
Have a great,
Bye for now.
Great day or night. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.